Many guys freak out when married women and former classmates want them out of the blue. In reality, these women just realize the party is almost over for them, and they need to get out of the club with the best man they can get. You know, she's trying to settle down. Chances are you are this guy, so back in the day you would be unsuccessful with women, but now that you've got your life together in all regards, money, intellect, and physique, all of a sudden these women who rejected you desire you. They popped up in your DMs or got your phone number through a friend of a friend just to ask you how you're doing. Beware, it is a trap. If you were rejected in high school but have become the best version of yourself, expect these and many women to chase after you. I'm not meaning that only post-wall women will try to lock you down, but also younger, more fertile women. Men often hit their peak at 30, whereas at that age, women's beauty tends to decline. Whereas before she was into the bad boys, now she wants Mr. Nice Guy. Thank you, but no thank you. If you're a man in this position, you have multiple options such as looking for higher quality women, playing Captain Save-A-Ho, or just walking out of the dating marketplace altogether. Many men, especially MGTOWs, opt for escaping the dating scene. Stick around because in today's video, you're going to learn more about post-wall women, why you should avoid them at all costs, and why they can't seem to accept that they made poor choices in the past. But before we go deeper, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Ron Mexico. He said, "It's not only they don't care about your struggles, they don't care about anything other than themselves. Marriage, children, family, and friends are there to serve her whims, or she'll sacrifice you for her own desires of the moment." The wall has no mercy whatsoever. It's pretty much a law of the universe. So feminists, who of course deny nature and biology, are trying to cover this up. MGTOWs operate on reality, whereas feminists are idealistic or just ideological. In a world where ideology rules over biology, voicing the truth drives modern women crazy. Women over 30 increasingly get less attention, but some men of that age can't handle so much female attention all of a sudden. Many guys think that they're now succeeding because they get more women easily, which is partially true, but listen up. Some of these women lived their best life, got their notch counts through the roof, and now claim to be family-oriented and eager to build a family. They might say that they've left their past behind and all those well-intentioned ideas. The reality, though, is that she's desperate for security. Let's be very simple here. Do not fall into the trap. Some younger women might find you attractive, but chances are you don't want them either. The older women, though, might not find you really attractive. Remember that modern-day women lie a lot about their past and intentions, so it's better to observe reality as it is. The wall arrives around 30 years old and goes beyond the physical. She starts to realize that she is not attracting as many men as she used to. Plus, younger women get much more attention. Her SMV, short for sexual marketplace value, drops drastically, and she's desperately looking for a guy that will cover her needs, including but not limited to money. By the way, if she's got debt, apart from being selfish to come to you now that you're successful and she's on the decline, don't invite her into your life. I'm sure you prefer the MGTOW lifestyle over dating, but just in case, I'd love to make that clear enough. As you guys know, life puts everything in its place. Eventually the tables turn, and you feel rightfully more powerful than ever as a man. All that work you put in will pay off, so don't accept breadcrumbs from anyone. That includes women, of course, but it applies to everyone in your life. Anyway, here's an analogy that describes what these women experience during their prime years until they hit the wall. Listen up. When she's on her 18th birthday, she's handed $1 million. Of course, since she didn't earn it, she doesn't appreciate it. Instead of investing and multiplying her capital, she prefers to blow it all up on, you know, some fun. Then, for the next decade or so, she spends her money irresponsibly. She gives 10 grand to guys for just being tall, hot, rich, or whatever, and in some cases, she takes money from them quite literally. All that good stuff. Good for her and Chad and Tyrone, of course. What's the problem, though? At some point, when she's around 30, she finds herself in the club, at the bar, or at the cafe with younger women who have a bigger capital than her, so they can spend more freely. she can't waste the little money she's got left. Bankruptcy is coming. So all of a sudden, she changes the spending policy and just spends $10 or $20 on the guy she's slightly interested in. She thinks that breadcrumbing them will make them come to her. In some cases, it does, because there's always a Mr. Nice Guy out there, or just some horny dude who wants some quick action. These women think that investing this much will secure them a faithful husband, and they've managed to do so for quite a long time, but nowadays, most men don't fall for her. In fact, these smart men, especially if they're MGTOWs, are disgusted by her promiscuous past and don't want some other man's DNA in their own legacy. That would be disturbing. Imagine being a guy like this, knowing that she spent $10K on every guy in her past, but then you're only given $20, if at all? Sorry, but that's not a good deal. Her impulsive whims are just annoying, and her dirty past is not attractive if you are looking for a wife. She might be good for recreational use, just as she was recreating herself during her 20s with Chad and Tyrone. This is proof of why men either go for younger women or check out of dating completely. She can't just expect to invest almost nothing and get a provider and loving husband in return. It's just repulsive. At 23, she could conceive easier, but at 30 plus, that's a completely different story. After riding many other men, she's looking for a guy that will secure her future. Her narratives about female empowerment, independence, and strength suddenly vanish. Many women are born naturally with beauty, but spend their 20s taking little care of themselves. So it's normal for them to look much worse, to have bad skin, proportions gone, etc. They didn't do the work, but now they try to get that back by going to the gym, or in many cases through spirituality. That's why you'll hear these women say that the past is not important, they're getting back to church and all that good stuff. Sorry, but it's too late. She'll expect you to clean up the mess when she's past it. You'd rather let her be and face the consequences of her actions. Since we're all grown up, independent, and the master of our fate, let's live up to the expectations. The problem is that accountability is a concept modern day women don't understand completely. Let them deal with their grief and enjoy your MGTOW lifestyle.
What's going on, everybody? So far, Sadek here. Quite an interesting presentation, huh? Facts. All of it. Facts. And I'm going to show y'all in this video, which hopefully is not going to be too long, but I'm going to show you some never before seen insights and revelations into the wall. You've never heard this in the scriptures being taught anywhere else on or off the internet. You're only going to hear it here first. You hear it anywhere after this, they got it here because they don't study. All right, let's get up in here. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? Absolutely. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, saith the higher. That's Jeremiah 3 and 1. So these bitches get this wild hair up their asses when they're in their mid-teens. It ain't fuck that 18 shit. These bitches are fucking around at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, around that age frame. They're being sexually active, especially, you know, among the Pookie and Ray Ray subculture. Oh yeah. And some of these white people, you know, they get down like that too. So these young females are being turned out at very young ages. And like I keep telling y'all, y'all think just because you see the word husband, it meant they had to went down to the justice of the people. No, that's Esau shit. The first motherfucker that went up in there and popped that and busted off in her, that's her husband, according to the scriptures. Fuck that justice of the peace bullshit. All right? So the moment that happens, she gets turned out and loose and wild in the ass, and there she goes. And just like that dude said in the presentation before I came on here, I want you to think about that. You want to take a wife to plant your seed in order to continue your lineage. with the DNA of a whole bunch of fucking Pookies and Ray Rays and, as he called them, Chads and Tyrones. And no, fuck that. Nope. That's the reason why Jeremiah 16 verses Jeremiah chapter 16 verses 1 through 4 need to be strictly adhered to. Don't forget the wife shit right now. This ain't the time for that. This ain't the season. I told y'all that in the previous video I did about whoever got children, they were going to go into captivity. This ain't the season for childbearing right now. And what did Yeshaya tell you? Woe to you that are with child and those that give sucking these days. Y'all better think about that shit. Because he also said in that same discourse, and pray that your flight be not in the winter. Now, it's December the 17th or the 18th, one of the two. I don't really give a shit. But there's this huge talk about this major winter storm blowing across most of the goddamn country. We're safe from that shit here in Phoenix, Arizona, but it's still cold in the bitch here. It's 38 degrees outside right now. That's why I got this towel over my shoulders, because the heat don't work in this motherfucker. Ghetto ass shit. But anyway, now I want you to imagine all these dumb bitches out here that got kids that are pregnant or just had kids living up there where this storm is going, where they talk about it could get down to minus 20, 30, 40 fucking degrees. They're not going to make it, man. They're not going to make it. I mean, I'm just saying. And they got these kids too. It's hard enough for me to half breathe out here moving around, going to do these food pickups and shit, breathing this dry ass cold air. That shit hurts. I mean, it may not affect you. You know, y'all might be used to this shit, but man, fuck that. Okay? But yeah, these women, since they were young and got out here, where I come from, we call it fast, F-A-S-T, fast ass, out here just doing any and every damn thing with just any and everybody. Okay? Why would you want that? As it said up there, shall he return unto her? Why the fuck would you even want something like that, man? After this bitch done gargled all this nut from all these different dudes and let them blast off in her face and God knows where. Why in the fuck would you want that? You are a thirsty ass simp, plain and simple. That's why. That's the only reason why. Well, I've been like her since we was in high school. Nigga. Keep on. Let's look at Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 28. Thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, which symbolizes all these other damn heathens and shit, because thou was unsatiable. What does that mean? Let me show you in the next sentence. Yea, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied. That's what unsatiable means. Once these bitches done got plugged or poked, it sets it in motion, man. No matter what the age is, all the way until they run into that goddamn wall. That wall was undefeated. Y'all gonna find out the wall was real. It's in scripture. It was there the whole time. I didn't even see it myself until I put this lesson together. I'm gonna show y'all. That wall was a motherfucker, boy. I'm trying to tell you what this dude was talking about. Facts, all of it. I'm gonna just show you why in the scriptures is facts. But yeah, that's how these, when they, like he was talking about how they start out real young, they can't be satisfied. Nothing can satisfy them. Nothing. But Ezekiel 23:19, and that's something else. Y'all really want to understand about female nature? Read Ezekiel chapter 16 and Ezekiel chapter 23 in your own time. Some of you may not understand whatever, but just read it with the context in mind. Understanding female nature. Write that on a piece of paper, like the title. Understanding female nature, and go through there and read them. Read both of those chapters all the way through and take some detailed notes. You'll know more than any content creator or psychologist or therapist out there. I promise you. Let's look at Ezekiel 23:19. Yet she multiplied her whoredoms in calling to remembrance the days of her youth, wherein she played the harlot in the land of Egypt. That's Ezekiel 23:19. See, that's what goes through these bitches' mind all the time, especially as they get older and they get closer to that wall. This is all they can think about. I think he mentioned that in the presentation too. That's all they think about. The good times they had when they was being a young, pretty whore. Let's look at Ezekiel 16:15. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty and playedst the harlot because of thy renown or your reputation, being a young, pretty hoe, and pourest out thy fornications on every one that passed by. His it was. Ezekiel 16:15. That's what these bitches are doing from the moment they get popped all the way until they reach that goddamn wall. Some of them can manage to do that just a little bit after the wall, but for the most part, no. But from whatever age it was up until about 30, this is what's going on right here. So any of you motherfuckers want to choose a woman over 30, this is what you're dealing with. That land is greatly polluted. Why would you want anything to do with it? Well, she has a really good personality. We connect, of course, because this motherfucker can't connect with nobody else. Come on, man. Come on, man. Cut the bullshit, all right? Let's switch gears here. Now I'm going to introduce y'all to the wall. Let's go to Hosea chapter 2, and I'm going to read verses 6 and 7. I just read verse 7 in the previous video I did. Just read it. Well, here we go. Therefore, behold, this is the Most High talking, I will hedge up thy way with thorns and make a wall. There it is right there. Hosea 2 and 6. It was there the whole time. Most High is doing that. That she shall not find her paths. She's not going to be able to go back and do all this other shit that she's known for doing. It's over with. I'm telling you, man, that goddamn wall is a motherfucker. Let me show you the psychological effects that it have on these bitches in these scriptures. But there, let me read that again. Therefore, behold, I, not Sapar Sadek, Ahaya, will hedge up thy way with thorns. And the thorns represent, it's going to make it difficult for you to do what you've been doing up to that point. This right here. And make a wall. Undefeated, baby. That she shall not find her paths. Now let's go read verse 7 in this context. She shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go and return to my first husband, for then it was better with me than now. But what did it say back in Jeremiah 3:1? Shall he return to that land? You done went out here and played the whore. Why the fuck should he take you back? No, fuck that. Because see, when you done went out here and hit this goddamn wall and realize you done run out of options, now that's all you can think about is the husband that you betrayed, the marriage that you fucked up because you swore up and down you were so unhappy because you was doing everything else instead of putting your wholehearted full time and effort into, making that marriage work. No, you let everything and everybody and every other influence fuck that up until you don't have it no more. Now, when you done got out here and got more wild, and then this goddamn wall, you get introduced to this bitch. And most motherfuckers hit this motherfucker full speed. Bam! Yeah, that's how they come in contact with the wall. Now you want to start reflecting back to well, maybe it wasn't as bad as, fuck that. It's too late. You done fucked up. Because all that shit that you did when you got out there or got free from a marriage or whatever the case may be and everything, that disqualify you from going back. There's nothing for you to go back to. That man done moved on. It is what it is. Let's look at Lamentations chapter 3, verse 9. He hath enclosed my ways with hewn stone. In other words, the wall. Encircled your ass, corralling you like a wild ass fucking horse. It's the only way you can break that motherfucker. He hath made my paths crooked. Yep, so like you just going in circles. Because if the path is crooked and everything, you ain't gonna never get to where it is you trying to go. You're gonna be going everywhere else except that. So you might as well be going in circles. That's what the purpose for that wall is, to make you feel like you're stuck in limbo. That's what's going through these bitches' mind, and that's what's driving them crazy, and is the source of all the fear and anxiety and desperation that they, are experiencing. It's the feeling of being stuck in one place and can't get free. That's what the wall is for, to break their asses. That was Lamentations 3 and 9. Let's look at a few more precepts on this. Let's look at Job chapter 19, verses 8 through 10. He hath fenced up my way with a wall that I cannot pass. And he hath set darkness in my paths. That way you don't know which way to go. You're lost. Just going in circles. No sense of direction, no sense of nothing other than fear and anxiety. So much so that now you're thinking back to the times when, that dude asked you, for your hand in marriage when you was like right out of high school. Ew, get away from me, you creep, you weirdo, and this. Now, when you hit the wall, that's all you can think about now. You don't want to think about the other shit because that's the reason why you're in the situation you're in. So you don't want to think about that. And you really don't want to have to think about all those dudes that you turned down either. Why? Because that's self-incriminating, and your ego and your pride just won't allow that. So you're being tormented by the very existence of that wall. Verse 9, he hath stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. That's what happens when you hit the wall. You're no longer as desirable as you thought you was. Your queen, your rulership, and as that dude said, your sexual market value, gone. The only thing a dude would want to do with you is just bust a nut and bounce. Pretty much like what you've been doing. But see, you, in your mind, well, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to settle down and get married. Nope, too late. Too late. There's a time and a season for everything. Now, you played like the grasshopper, running around bullshitting, enjoying your hot girl summers and this and that and the other, while the ants were preparing for winter. Winter is here now, both literally and figuratively. Winter is here. How did that work out for the grasshopper? Go read that shit. Verse 10, he hath destroyed me on every side. No matter which way you try to turn and run, you're just going to end up right back facing that wall. I am gone. Yes, you are. And mine hope hath he removed like a tree. Yep, that hope's of somebody going to rush in and scoop your ass up. And that's Job chapter 19, verses 8 through 10. Now, there are a few exceptions to the rule. When I was doing this little deal to get this platinum player yearly bus pass, as all of y'all there I call it, the little young white chick that was doing it and everything, she was, I think she's 30 or 31. Not bad looking. Not bad looking at all. But she was married. She said her husband picked her up 2 years prior to her 30th birthday. So it does happen. But, that's few and far beyond, man. And I was telling her about a lot of this shit right here, and I could see in her face, damn, I'm glad I'm married. You fucking better be glad. You better do whatever that man tell you to do. Cut the lip, cut the bullshit, and because these other bitches out here, this boss chicken, man, fuck that. These hoes are miserable. They want what you have. Like it's a whore envious a righteous and virtuous woman. So forget about looking out there and seeing what they're doing. They're only pretending like they're having fun. They're only pretending like they're the best version of themselves. They're only pretending like they're living their best life. But that goddamn wall tells all tales. That's the equalizer, the great equalizer for these bitches. That motherfucking wall. And that was Job 19, 8 through 10. Now let's look at Psalms 88 and 8. Thou hast put away mine acquaintance far from me. All these other boss chicks and these little hyena cliques that these bitches used to run in and everything. When you hit that wall, that shit don't exist no more. All your little support groups and all this, your social, emotional support and all that shit, gone. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them. Talking about MGTOW men. Motherfuckers don't want you because they know what you did. They come on channels like this and other channels and find out what the fuck you women do in your early years and everything. See, before there was not, a platform or anything like this that could teach men in such a profound way and such a, that had such far-reaching implications, being able to, go from country to country, culture to culture, this, that, and other. Different types of cultures even here within this dumbass place and everything. There was, up until recently, there wasn't anything like this. And motherfuckers that claim to know the word and this, that, and the other, they weren't doing their job. That's why the Most High got me doing it now. I'm having to go back for free and clean up their mess that they got paid for. They fucked a lot of people up and got paid damn good money to do it. But I got to come behind these motherfuckers for free and clean this shit up. And I do it proudly. This is my crowning achievement. That way when shit really get crazy, hey, part of my reward is going to be to glide right through this shit. Like this damn storm is coming through here. I ain't got to deal with that. But yeah, he's done made these bitches abominations unto MGTOW men. So the only hope that they could ever, which ain't really hope. The only options they really have available is Pookie and Ray Ray, Chad and Tyrone. That's all they got. That's all they're ever gonna have. Because that's all really they've dealt with. So they got Pookie and Ray Ray, Chad and Tyrone DNA in them. So that's the only thing they're gonna be compatible with. Anything other than that is not gonna even appeal to them. And that's killing them. Why? Because Pookie and Ray Ray, Chad and Tyrone don't believe in retirement. They really believe in work. All they want, they're the male counterparts of them. All they want to do is have fun, fuck around, play, and bullshit all the goddamn time. That's all they want to do. And so that's what these bitches got to look forward to until the day they die. Either that or go back and watch the first part of that presentation. That. And that's what's killing them, and it should. And I love it. I don't feel sorry for them. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them, unto MGTOW men that are on their purpose, doing what they're supposed to do. Eli's. I am shut up, and I cannot come forth. The Psalms 88 and 8. Like I told you, the wall represents a corral that's completely surrounding your ass, preventing you from further doing more damage than you've already done. So now you got to stay in that motherfucker. From that point until you take your last breath. Mentally, that's what it's going to be for you. And out in the real world, you might as well have a brick wall surrounding you everywhere you go, because don't nobody see you. And if they do, they're not interested. Not in the way you want them to be interested. Let's look at Job chapter 19, man. Job coming out with it. Job chapter 19, verses 15 and 18 through 19. They that dwell in mine house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. See, all this bullshit that y'all start doing when you're young, it alienates you from the natural order of things to the point to where, you know, people that are within your so-called social groups and your emotional support bullshit and all that, it'll get to a point where them motherfuckers will look at, who are you? That's what the wall does. I'm telling you, man, that wall, I'm glad I ain't got to deal with that shit. That wall, that motherfucker ain't no joke. Verse 18, yea, young children despise me, as well they should, because you're leaving a bad example. So what is it about you that they should like or honor? Nothing. I arose and they spake against me. Well, what type of, like I said, what type of example have you offered to them? All right. And that Paul causes reality to set in like a motherfucker, where you can't ignore it. You can't deflect from it. You can't deflect from that goddamn wall. Okay. Job 19 and the last verse, verse 19. All my inward friends abhorred or despised me, and they whom I loved are turned against me. That was Job chapter 19, verses 15, 18 through 19. You see the effects that the wall have on these motherfuckers, man. Talk about isolation. That's the reason why they're losing their minds, man. Look at this shit. Just think about the life they had up until the wall. Now all of a sudden they got to deal with all this shit, like being dropped off on another planet. Huh? Now, welcome to our world and see how we've been feeling all this time. Let's look at Psalms 31, 10 through 13. For my post-wall life is spent with grief, good, and my years with sighing. Oh well, my strength faileth because of mine iniquity. Should have thought about that beforehand. And my bones are consumed. I was a reproach among all mine enemies, but especially among my neighbors. Yeah, because they know what the fuck you do. And they fear to mine acquaintance. Yep, because as soon as you hit that wall, especially if you hit it before they do, they already see what's coming for them. Hey, they that did see me without fled from me. Yeah, hey, I don't want nothing to do with them. Yeah, when you get to the wall, you're going to be going through that shit too. There's no escape. I am forgotten as a dead woman out of mind. Good. Chad, Tyrone, and Pookie and Ray Ray can move on. I am like a broken vessel. That's exactly what you are. For I have heard the slander of many. Fear was on every side. While they took counsel together against me, they devised to take away my life. And that's Psalms 31, 10 through 13. Yeah, because some of the motherfuckers that's devising to take away your life are doing it from a prison cell thanks to you. See, you didn't say nothing about that part. These false allegations and all this other shit, domestic violence bullshit, child support bullshit and all that. Yeah, and in the moment they get to take away your life, that's exactly what they're going to do. And the Most High, for a lot of you, that's going to be your judgment. He's going to allow these niggas to get your ass. It is what it is. All right, I'm going to switch gears. We're going to do this last precept and I'm done. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. Now, the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times, which are our times, some, which should be damn near all, shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, in this context, feminism and this woke culture bullshit. But see, feminism and woke culture don't teach these bitches about the wall. They have to come on the internet and find out about that shit. When it's usually too late when they do. Because now they didn't hit the wall and they got plenty of time to sit down and self-reflect and everything. So then, you know, they'll have time to come across a video like this where they won't be so quick to dismiss it like they were 10, 15 years ago. But by then it's too late. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry. That's what feminism and woke culture teaches. No, fuck marrying, Bill 304 and a thought. But when you hit that goddamn wall, that knows all this shit. The bitches want to be married more now than anything, especially when they see other females married and actually appear to have healthy, meaningful relationships, something they know they can never achieve. That's what the wall does. Like you saw that thumbnail, that bitch climbed up on them. When they hit the wall, they're like, what the fuck is this? Every now and then, one of them will, you know, grow the strength or the courage to climb up and look over that shit, and this is what they see. A lifetime that could have been, but never will be, because of the lifetime that they had lived up until that point. Deuces.